can hear me. Hi guys, my name is Zara. I have been cheerleading for just over 10 years, and today I'm going to share with you my 3 top tips for stretching and also show you a different style of stretching which you may not have heard of, but from my personal experience is the most effective way to build your stretch and flexibility for cheerleading. So my first tip is to know what type of stretch it is you're about to do. You can be stretching to warm up, you could be stretching to cool down as part of recovery, you might be stretching for one specific skill, you might be stretching to boost your flexibility, or you might be stretching with a little bit of strength thrown in so that you can utilize that flexibility. So knowing which type of stretch you're about to do is super important because it will keep you focused and make your stretch more effective. Okay, my second top tip is about discomfort and pain. When you're stretching, to increase your flexibility, it will be uncomfortable. It will hurt a bit, but it shouldn't be painful. You want to push past the point of comfort until you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but it should never be painful. If you feel a sharp shooting pain, you've done too much. So you want to stretch to a point of discomfort, hold it there, but never go too far, otherwise you're just going to injure yourself and then you'll be taking steps backwards. Stretching is not linear. Every single day is different. So the key is little and often, stretching past the point of discomfort, but listening to your body and making sure that you're not going past the point of pain. So my third and final tip is that everyone is different. No 2 people could follow the exact same stretch routines and get the exact same results. Listen to your body. If something feels specifically tight, stretch that a little bit more. If something feels quite bendy, you might not need to stretch that as much. You will know what's best. You will know what feels right and what feels wrong. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be painful. So go to the point of discomfort, but don't go to the point of pain. So quick recap. Tip 1, know what type of stretch you're doing. Stretch with purpose and know why you are doing it. Tip 2, stretching is uncomfortable. Go to the point of discomfort, but never push past where it's painful. Tip 3, everyone is different. Listen to your body and stretch the areas that feel they need the most stretching. Okay, so they are my 3 top tips for general stretching, and they can be applied to anything, whatever you're stretching for, whether it be cheerleading or another sport. So what I'm going to move on to now is the difference between active and passive stretching. So a passive stretch is when your body is relaxed and you're using gravity or your own body weight to pull yourself into a stretch, and that's how you might gain flexibility. An active stretch is when you actively are using your muscles around the area that you want to stretch to pull yourself into that stretch. From my personal experience, a combination of passive, active, passive stretching is the best way to gain flexibility specifically for cheerleading. If we think about all the moves that we do in cheerleading that require flexibility, so we're thinking mainly here about jumps and flyer stretches, they require some form of strength to hold and pull our bodies into those positions. This is where your active stretching plays a massive role, because if you are able to do splits on the floor, that doesn't necessarily mean you can pull a heel stretch in the air, because you might not have the strength to do that without flopping around like a bit of a rag doll, which makes your base's job really, really hard. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the difference between what an active stretch is and a passive stretch. So a very simple version of this would be if we're stretching our neck. So if I've got my head to the side like this, and I relax everything in my shoulders, everything in my neck, and I let gravity just pull my head down towards the ground, this would be passive. I'm not working to create a stretch on this side of my neck. If I now actively squeeze this part of my neck, try and pull my ear to my shoulder, and I'm using my muscles to create that, this is now an active stretch. So I'm actively pulling my ear to my shoulder, creating a stronger stretch. If I then relax again, allow gravity to do the work, this is now passive. So it's a very subtle difference, but it will make a big change into how your flexibility goes and the speed at which you increase your flexibility. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you some different stretches that you can do as active and passive. These are some common stretches which you will recognize. They're not really for any specific skill right now. I just want to show you an example of how to make them passive and then active. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is a very common hamstring stretch. You'll all recognize this. We're sitting in our pike. Keep your back up and your chest up nice and tall, and then slowly walk your hands forward as far as you can go. Now I want you to stay very relaxed here. We're just allowing gravity to kind of pull our chest forwards. So you want your abs to be relaxed, you want your legs to be relaxed, you want your hands to be relaxed. We're just looking forwards, and this is a passive stretch. To make this active, we want to pull our chest towards our legs using our quads and our abs. So you can do this. We still want our back to be straight, so keep your eyes up, but start to pull in with your legs and your chest and your abs. Pull your chest towards your legs as much as you can. Don't use your hands. If you're using your arms to pull you down, you're using your arm muscles. That's not affecting what's happening in your legs. You want to be using your legs to create the stretch if you're trying to stretch your legs. So pull your chest in as much as you possibly can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. This is now active. As soon as I relax again, this is now passive. So I'm now using gravity and my body weight again. But I'm way further than I was before. So my general rule of thumb is to do passive, active, passive. So something where you're nice and relaxed, then something where you're actively pulling, and then something where you're nice and relaxed again. Another way is to stand up and relax your chest down. You can hold your elbows to stop your hands touching the floor, or just hang if you're a little bit less flexible. This is absolutely fine. Relax your head, relax your back, relax your abs, relax your legs. So you're just going to go where you feel a pull. Your legs will stay straight without you squeezing them. I don't want you to squeeze them. I want your legs to be completely relaxed. This is passive. We're not doing anything here to create the stretch. Gravity is doing it for us. To make this active, we want to again use our quads and our abs to pull our chest towards our knees. So actively pull, don't use your arms, really try and pull with your abs and your thighs to get your chest closer to your knees. You want to hold that. This is your active stretch. Once you're done with your active stretch, you hold it for 10, 20, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Relax everything again. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your legs, relax your abs. Now you're back to your passive stretch, but we're way further than we were the first time we were doing our passive stretch. So that's a way to do your hamstrings. Okay, so another really common stretch is a lunge. We might do this to stretch either our quads or our hip flexors or our lower back, depending on how you do it. This is a passive stretch. We're relaxed, our legs are relaxed, we're nice and balanced in the middle. Gravity is pulling us down towards the ground. So we're not doing much to create this stretch here, but you can still feel it pulling. So we're in our passive stretch. Now to make this active, you've got a couple of options. You can either try and squeeze your quad on your front leg and your bum on your back leg to push your hip down towards the ground. This would be active. Alternatively, if you're stretching more of your lower quad, you can bend your back foot up, but don't hold on to it. Really try and squeeze your hamstring to create that stretch in the front of your leg. So again, this is your active stretch. Then we go back to our passive stretch. And I don't know about you, but it feels a little bit easier. We can go a little bit further. So that's your passive, active, passive. Okay, let's have a look at the frog stretch or butterfly stretch. This is mostly for your hip flexibility, great for toe touches. So feet together, knees apart. Ideally, you want your shoulders directly on top of or slightly in front of your hips. Relax your hips, relax your legs, relax your abs. Allow your chest to come forwards a little bit, allowing gravity to pull our knees down to the ground. Now, a common thing here is to use your hands to try and push your knees down. You can absolutely, by all means, do that, but just bear in mind, that's still a passive stretch. We're using our arm muscles, but we're trying to stretch our hips. So to make this stretch active, we need to use our hip muscles and the muscles around our hips to make it active, to cause that stretch. So instead of using your hands to push your knees down, relax everything, passive stretch, then squeeze your bum, squeeze your hips, and try and pull your knees down to the ground without using your hands. So we're going to pull down as much as you possibly can, squeeze your bum. So this is your active stretch. I'm actively pulling my knees into the ground, squeezing my bum, trying to open up the hips. To make this harder, we can actively try and pull our chest down towards the ground. So we're opening up our hips even more. So you'll hold this for however long you've decided to, and then you relax again, and this becomes your passive stretch. And the second time you do your passive one, hopefully again, you will see your legs have gone a little bit further and it feels a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable to do that stretch. Okay, so there's a couple of stretches for you to help you hopefully understand the difference between active and passive stretching. It might not work for you, it's my favorite way of stretching, but remember, everyone is different. So give it a go. If it doesn't work, try something else and let me know how you get on. I've got a few more videos on skill-specific stretching coming up. We'll be using both active and passive stretching, so now you're all caught up, you'll be ready to join in with those when they come out. Make sure that you're subscribed to Next Level Cheer on YouTube because they've got some great content coming up, including interviews and camps and skills and drills and loads of great stuff, choreo competitions, and go follow them on Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram at Zara Stunts. I'm always more than happy to help with tips and advice and just sharing your support, so let me know if you have any questions on there. Good luck with your stretching and do let us know how you get on. And now I was going to do a cheesy goodbye, but I'm not going to do that. So I will say, see you in the next one.